Hi, welcome to this second day of Hepatica Week, where we have online mini classes covering the different aspects of Earth observations from the observation itself, in this case a picture with our mobile phones, all the way via transformation into scientific data to the very use of this new knowledge. So today we are covering the topics called Hepatica Secrets, and you will learn more about that. And we have a brand new mobile phone applications on its way out to the market that you will get a very early quick look at. So my name is Bente Lilja. I'm an earth science expert and also a nature-loving gadget guide. So that's why I have initiated this whole week dedicated to one of my favorite flowers. Hepatica nobilis is the name of that in Latin. It's liverleaf or liverwort in English. It's Leberblümchen in German and blåveis in Norwegian. Just to mention a few. The flower can be found basically on, well, at least on 3 continents: in Europe, in North America, and in Asia. But it's not, I mean, of course, we are focusing on the Hepatica nobilis, we are focusing on this flower, but of course there are many other species, both plants and animals, that we are able to observe with our gadgets. And but today we are focusing on the flower itself. And before we start on that, by the way, you can post questions in the chat, and we will try to answer that after each of the presentations. We have 2 presenters today, and we will also see if we have time towards the end. We will keep it within the half hour, so that's the limitation. So before we start, I would like to introduce our 2 speakers, and we start with the one who are going to actually reveal Hepatica secrets. Honorata, can you present yourself?
Hello, my name is Honorata Kaja, and I work in the Norwegian Botanical Association with all the wildflowers in Norway. So the Hepatica, which is called blåveis in Norwegian, is one of our favorite plants and is blooming right now in the springtime. So I will tell you more about it in some few seconds.
Thank you, Honorata. And then Bjørn, can you present yourself?
Yes, hello everybody. I'm Bjørn. I live and work in Oslo. I work at an IT company, and I'm interested in technology and nature in general, and then citizen science is a good place to be. So I'm going to talk about the project called biocaching in a little while.
Thank you, Bjørn. Thank you. So now we are so excited, Honorata, to learn about my favorite flower, the blue blåveis liverleaf, or Hepatica nobilis. I'm listening.
Okay. Hey, so we'll look at some of the secrets of our spring flower, the liverleaf. And I'll just start with telling first a little about who the Norwegian Botanical Association is. And I'll check if I can open the presentation. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes, that's perfect. So that's our beautiful Hepatica, which is this week is all about. And this, wait a second. Yeah. So the Norwegian Botanical Association is basically an association for all the amateurs and professional botanists that are interested in wildflowers in Norway. So we work with all with mapping of wildflowers, and we work with to teach people about them and to conserve important areas for wildflowers. So the Hepatica is one of the favorite Norwegian spring flowers, and many people appreciate it a lot now these days, so now that it's blooming in full bloom. So I'll try to reveal some of its secrets today. And we can start with, I just found this beautiful photo. It just shows that this is a beautiful spring flower that comes early in the spring. And that's what makes it so interesting for this project too, is because when the liver leaves comes, it shows when the spring starts. So it is basically the start of spring is how liver leaf comes, and that's why it's so interesting for climate change science to see when springtime comes in different regions in different parts of Norway and the rest of the world, which makes this species really interesting to study. I don't know if you know why it is that the liver leaf has the ability to come so early in the spring, and that is because it makes its flower buds the autumn the year before. So the flower buds, they are made at the autumn, and they are sleeping in the ground and sleeping there the whole winter. And in the summer time, when the sun comes up and melts the snow, then the flowers just shoot up the second the snow is melted. So this is why they can be so early, are coming so early in the springtime, because the buds and the leaves are made the year before. That is one of the secrets. And the other is, which is maybe not a secret, it has many colors. I have mostly seen the blue one, but it can be pink and purple, blue, and even white. So some are found white types too, and many people think it varies because of the lime in the ground, which is how acid the soil is. That may affect it a little, but mostly they say the colors are because of genetics. So they have different genes, all of them, the purple ones and the violets and the blue, and the white ones lack the genes for color basically. So that is why they have different colors, and why you can see many of them at the same place. You can see some that are blue and some that are purple, even though they grow in the same soil. So that is quite interesting with them. And the liver leaves like to grow mainly in the soils that are rich in lime, so have a high pH, and they like forests, so they live mainly in the old in forest with both the leaf trees and barträd. Don't remember the English name, I'm sorry, and but with rich soils and lime soils, that's what they like best. So if you see a forest with a liver leaf, then you know that forest has very rich soils. So it is like an indicator species of rich forest, which is quite interesting too. So in Norway, you find it mostly in here in the Oslo area. It's very lime-rich soils, so you can find it in many forests on the islands outside Oslo. But it is also on the west, on the southern coast, and in the middle, in the Trøndelag region, which is called. But it also exists, as Bente said, in Europe, and also sometimes in Asia and in America. So liver leaf, the whole world can see it. And which, that's the other secret, is Hepatica have nuts. So it is nuts. And most people, if you ask them, have you seen the seeds of liver leaf, they will say they will probably have never seen them. And that is because when they are finished with flowering and they get seeds, the stems go down to the ground. And that is because they have a very special, they get very special help from somebody to spread their seeds. And that we'll see now is they have ants. So ants are the helpers of our liver leaf, and the ants, they love this. If you can see on the photo, it's the white part here. It's like plant fat. So the ants love this plant fat. It's kind of bag of fat, we can say it, but in proper botanical, you say a lysome. So the white part of the seed is the bag of fat, which our liver leaf makes, especially for ants. And ants love this fat, which they feed their larvae with, and they bring the seeds to their nests, where they feed the larvae with this fat bags, or elysoms, as they are called. And this and when this bag is eaten up, they throw it out. And that's how they disperse liver leaf all over the forest. So you can usually see in forest, or not far from ants' nests, you can see often liver leaves live a lot, but I mean grow around those. And also, interesting fact, you can change the color of if you take a liver leaf flower and put it above ant nest, the ants will start spraying this ant acid. And if this ant acid comes in contact with your flower, it will change the color to purple or red. So this acid makes it red. That can be fun to test. And that's the. If you ever wondered why they are called liver leaf, that is because people in older times thought the leaves looked similar as the human liver. So you can see on the photo, you can see the liver, and then you can see the leaves that are look like three small leaves together. People believed in older times that plants that look like parts of human organs can be used to treat those parts in humans. So if somebody were sick in his liver, they would give people liver leaf to make them better. So this is old belief, and the Latin name is Hepatica, which means liver. So that's the name liver leaf, is from that. But the small problem is that Hepatica is actually poisonous. So I would not recommend people to try to eat it to get better, because it has small quantities of this poison. So it's don't try it at home. That's what I would say. But that's what people believed in older times, that you can cure liver diseases with the leaves of liver leaf. So that's the secret of its name. And then we'll have the final secrets. Oh my God. And the final secret is that liver leaf can get really old. So all the small plants you see in the forest, they can actually be over 100 years old. And some people say they can even be 300 years old. So it means they grow quite slow, and if they thrive in a place, they will stay there for a long, long time. And that also means we don't recommend people to pluck them. Don't dig them up with the roots, because those plants have been there for a really long time and take a long time to grow. So if you love the flowers, you should either enjoy them in the forest or pluck them, but not with the roots. So leave the roots in the ground, and then they can come back every year. So this liver leaf is quite special in that aspect, that it can get so old as that. So I think that was most of the secrets. So I hope you can enjoy the Hepatica next time you'll see it. Well, wait, there. And we in the Botanical Association, we think it's very important to map biodiversity and wildflowers. So we recommend everybody to try this My Season app to help scientists in the world to see how the climate change changes our nature, and how our liver leaves are affected by when the spring times come. So I want to thank you very much, and you have discovered the secrets of liver leaf.
Thank you so much, Honorata. That was awesome. That was so many new things I didn't know about. So it's definitely a revelation for me. And I think I was having. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I was. Yes, today I was out. You know, every day we are out in the forest this week, and we are looking at different places where the liver lives. And today I discovered, and I remember I've seen it several times also, that there's a different number of petals on each of the plants. You know, there's a variations of the number of petals. Do you have any explanation for that?
No, actually I don't. So that's a very good question. So we can try to find it out and post it on the Hepatica Week Facebook event page.
That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great. And yeah, I wanted one more small secret is that the liver leaf don't have nectar actually. They just have pollen. So so insects come to Hepatica to gather pollen, which is like proteins for the baby bumblebees and baby bees, and very important now in the early spring.
Yes, and if people go to the hashtag Hepatica Week event page, I posted a small video from yesterday where you actually see a bee visiting one of the liver leaves. So you see that they were collecting. So you see it live there. So I think just to say that again, every day this week we have live broadcasts from the forest on @PlanetB on Periscope, and you can also reach those live broadcast on Twitter on the same handle, PlanetB. And then so we start every day, every afternoon with that, and then we go and cover different aspects of collecting data. Like Honorata said yesterday, we were talking about the mobile application called My Seasons, and in that mobile application there's a specific button for liver leaf where you can collect information about liver leaf and observe, collect observation of this particular plant. So that's a very easy way into using mobile applications, a gadget for citizen science. So citizen science is merely the science that are with participation from us as regular citizens, whether or not we are a scientist or not, but we can contribute as the man or woman in the street. And one of the things, the tools we can use is mobile applications. And I think that will be the segue for a transfer for the next speaker, which will be another mobile application. So yesterday we were talking about My Seasons, and you can see the recording of yesterday's presentation on the hashtag Hepatica Week page on Facebook. Today you will learn about a new type of mobile application, and it's called biocaching, and I am so excited to hear about that as well. And Bjørn, can you present the biocaching application for us?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Bente. So biocaching is a concept that we have been working on for quite a while. But only since the beginning of this year did we start the actual development. So let me see if I can share my presentation with you. And yeah, there we go. So it's actually a very easy concept to explain. Before I start doing that, I'd like to present the team. So with me in the team, I have Lilja and Davide from Italy. They are both designers. We have Peter from the Netherlands, and we have Albin from Sweden. And both Peter and Albin and myself, we are software developers. So we come from the technology side. We're not biologists, any of us. So I'm going to show you a few still images from our video. The full video you can go to our webpage to look at. So to play this biocaching game, you bring your smartphone or a camera out in the nature, and you go searching for some kind of species. Whenever you find something interesting, you bring out your phone or the camera and you take a picture. And then you would look up the biocaching app, and you would use the functionality that we are developing and to try to actually identify the species. In this video, we used like a dummy prototype, and it shows that you can navigate by selecting animals, plants, or mushrooms. If you choose animals, you would then choose type of animals like mammals, birds, and fish. So this is a very simplified type of taxonomy that we're developing so that it would make it easy to actually identify the species. So once you've found in the app, found the actual species that you have seen and taken a picture of, you would store it as an observation, and then you would receive points. You may see at the bottom of this picture that this observation earned the user 23 points. So that indicates that we're going to make make it into a gaming experience, and I'm going to talk more about that in a little while. Yeah, so now it's going to be a little bit technical. This is the overall system architecture for biocaching, and very central in the solution is a database where we store information about all the species. And we build that database by combining data from open data sources. So we use data from the Catalogue of Life, from the Norwegian Biodiversity Information Center here in Norway, Encyclopedia of Life, and we will also fetch data from Wikipedia. So that's the species database. We also have a database where we will store all the observations, and the observations will be forwarded to the Global Biodiversity Information Facility, and through them all the observations will be made available for science and can be used freely for everyone. Also, we have a component that implements the gaming rules, and we'll come back to that. So all this data and the functionality will be made available through an API, an interface that can be used to develop applications that runs on mobile devices and also web pages. And initially, this will be apps and a web page that we will develop, but we may open up so that any citizen science project that need to have this kind of data, like to search for a species, to look at different pictures of species, they could actually use these services through the API. So that's at one point in the future we may open up for that. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about this species database. When we build this database, we start by importing the taxonomy from the Catalogue of Life. And then we want it to be localized. And by that I mean that a user should be able to find species by using his own language. So we're importing the common names from different languages. And we also add an indicator saying that this species actually exists in a region. So that when you are in Norway, and for example, you look up mammals, you very much limit the number of possible mammals that you have seen. So that makes it easier to identify the species. We also build this very simplified taxonomy, because the scientific taxonomy, it's very complex. It has names in each level that most people are not familiar with, and it also has very many levels. So if you base the navigation in the app on that, it's going to be very hard to use. So we try to make like a simplified, more people-friendly taxonomy. So further, we want to implement a search functionality, so you can search both by common name and scientific name. We add pictures from the Encyclopedia of Life. As people submit observations, we may actually replace those by the actual pictures submitted by users. So further on the search functionality, we will offer free text search. So you should be able to search for a yellow or a blue flower, and the app should give you the relevant yellow or blue flowers for your area. We're also going to look into semantic search. So for example, if you search for a black duck with a white head, the search functionality should help you actually find black birds with white heads and not white birds with black heads. So this semantic search functionality tries to interpret the search, and also this was an actual observation that I did. I saw this black bird that was swimming in a pond. It looked like a duck. Turned out it's not really a duck at all. It's called a coot, I think, in English. So then the search functionality could use synonyms, because a duck is a bird and a coot is also a bird. So this technology should actually find the coot anyway, even though it's not a duck. So we're also going to look into machine learning, where we now have access as open source. We have access to Google's software for machine learning and image recognition, and then we can train that software into recognizing pictures. We don't know exactly how well that will work, but we will look into how that can fit into the functionality. And the next type of functionality that we may look into is the use of identification keys, where you can ask the user about what he has seen. For example, does it have legs? Yes, no. If yes, how many legs? 2, 4, 6, etc. And there are several institutes now that are working on this. And for example, today, the Norwegian Biodiversity Information Center, they announced that they have these identification keys now for some dragonflies, I think it is. So that looks very promising. And so this is actually, we try to use whatever technology is available and to try to build a very user-friendly function to help the user identify the species. If in spite of all this you can't find the exact species, you could store the observation anyway, but say that you want to get help from someone, like an expert or a friend. So on to the gamification aspects. This has not been defined yet, but we're looking into different ways of rewarding your observations, so that a very rare observation would give you many points. We will add social aspects, like that you can add comments, you can share in social media, you can tag the observations, you can share them with friends, you can follow friends to see what your friends have observed. We will look into roles as well. So as an observer, you can play the basic role of being an observer, but you can also earn the right to play the role as an expert. And even another role we're discussing is that you can be a scientist, and you can define challenges and missions and organize those. So those are kind of roles you as a user can play in the game. So another function is that you can team up with others, and you can build a team with people with different skills and specialities. And we're also going to build in a type of progress, so that as you earn points, you earn the right to more advanced functionality. So all this is going to be built into the app. And the status as of today is that we're in development. We hope that before the summer this year, we have a proof of concept and a prototype that we can invite people to actually use and give us feedback on that. So please look us up on Facebook. You have the Facebook address here. We have a web page where you can find information, and also feel free to contact us on these email addresses. So yeah. Yeah, that's my presentation of biocaching. So we're really excited about finally developing something that people can start using. So that's very exciting for us. So Bente, over to you.
I had muted myself. Thank you so much, Bjørn. That was really interesting to learn more about the biocaching, and I think it was a very good combination of seeing yesterday's My Seasons, which was a much simpler kind of tool, and what you lined up there or described there was a little bit more, quite a bit more complex. I think it looks to me that this is really the gamification will allow people from around the world to sort of play together. For instance, the Hepatica nobilis, which you have not only here in Norway, but actually all over Europe. You have in North America, and you have in Asia. So they could, with your biocaching, they could actually compare notes and have a competition who found the first flower in the spring.
Absolutely, and finding the first flower of the season, that's one of the observations that would earn you extra points. So that would be a motivation to actually go out to search for it. And,
exactly.
And also geographic distribution. So Norway is a country that spans from south to the north, and spring comes at different times in different locations. So maybe the furthest north found liver leaf could give you extra points too.
Exactly. Yes. And so that also links together, I mean, the potential for citizen science or crowdsourcing in this case is that if you do as we do as a tradition here in Norway, if you watch the introductory little video for the Hepatica week, you will hear the story about my childhood, where we were like really competing to find the first little liver leaf. That was a really serious competition among the children, and of course that very competition has a great value for climate change studies. Yeah. And what you are saying then, with your tool then, Bjørn, with biocaching, you will be able to not only have a very local observation, but you will be able to then see how spring is developing in different parts of the world, and you can compare, you can have a global perspective on spring development, for instance.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point out the usefulness of this, because one of there are two main objections, if you like, or concerns when it comes to crowdsourced data or citizen science, and that is the quality, and it's whether or not it's useful or not. So I think we learned definitely the usefulness, illustrated very clearly in biocaching and my seasons as well. And when it comes to the quality, I mean, I think you showed illustrated very well the difficulties of finding the species. One thing with my season is that you had actually the flower there, right? It was an option. Is one of the species that you could sort of click on. In biocaching, you can actually search. If you find something in nature, you are lined up to you are making a tool that will help people identify what they have found. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what we want to do. Yeah. Because some species are easily recognizable, but some are not. And if you can't identify the exact species, you could also register it based on the family name and so on. And about the quality, that's definitely a concern. But since this is a game and you kind of have to prove what you have seen, we want people to try to get a very good picture of what you have seen, and so that other players in the game can help you with comments, and that's a kind of quality assurance as well. There is a different side effect other than the scientific value, and that is just the inspiration that people can get from using this app. Just by being out and learning about the species, the first step in that is to learning the names of the different species. And that is a good motivation to go on and learn more about the species, to look it up in the books or on the internet. And I think that's a very important effect from these citizen science tools that are so easily accessible now on mobile phones.
Exactly. Yeah. So do you, Honorata, do you use in your botanical association, do you use any kind of mobile application today?
No, what we use is the Norwegian database for species, which is called Artsobservasjoner. And I'll put on the And we wish that Artsobservationer was on a mobile application, because that would make it so much easier. But today it is just on the internet, so it's you can open it on your mobile, but just to look at it. But you can't actually put in new data from the mobile phone. So that is our wish for the Norwegian Species Association Bank, to create this database for mobile phones also, which would make it so much easier to map wild species in Norway, which is something that is enormously important and shows that citizen science have enormous potential, because this database, the Norwegian Species Database, was opened in 2008, and since 2008 there people like you and me and normal citizens, not only professors from universities, have been putting data into this database, and since then it's like 10 million data available about species in Norway. And that is more than the universities and professors has managed to sample in 100 years. So it shows how big potential citizen science actually have. And even though many of those data, since they are not collected by professionals, some of it may be not the correct species identifications or problems like that, but still the enormous amount of data can teach us very important things about where species live in Norway, how they spread, when they flower, and everything about them. So we think it's really important to do this mapping and to see this mobile apps that Bjørn have been talking about, and that My Season is really great, and that is our hope that it will become this app for this national species database for Norway also.
Thank you. That's good to hear. And we will round this up now, but I will ask you, Bjørn, when will we see the biocaching live?
Yeah, as I mentioned, we hope that sometime in June we have a prototype, a proof of concept that we will invite people to test for us. And that we will also test it through the summer, and then we will identify if there is any shortcomings and make a decision whether we should develop that into production quality with a limited functionality, and then make it generally available. So that's the process from now on. But first, it's to have this prototype ready, so a limited number of users, maybe 20, 30, 40 people could test it out for us, and we'll gain experience from that.
So do you need volunteers for
Absolutely.
testing?
Please drop us a line, and
yes.
We'll keep you informed.
Right. So there you go. You are welcome to help test out the biocaching mobile application and have some fun at the same time, I'm sure. And I will just remind you that you can start right now to gather information not only about the liverleaf. That's one of 15 species that is on the My Seasons app. So the My Seasons app is downloadable from both the Apple Store, so the iOS platform, and on Android on Google Play. So you can actually download on your mobile phone immediately and get started if you are eager to go out and do some observations. And then later this year, then Bjørn, we will be able to perhaps start testing and playing with the biocaching.
Yeah.
Okay. That will be awesome. So thank you so much, both of you. That was really interesting to learn about both the new app and all the secrets about Hepatica nobilis, or the liverleaf, blåveis, or leberblimchen. And I think you both mentioned something that we will take up tomorrow. Tomorrow we will talk more about different kinds of mobile applications, and we will go more in depth on gamification or gamified. What exactly do we mean by that? Because there are many ways of doing that, and Bjørn told you now one example, and we will learn more tomorrow about that. And also, we mentioned the quality, and we mentioned, Bjørn particularly mentioned, what happens to the data after it has been collected on your mobile phone, and you will learn about the archives, the data archives, who receives these data, and you will also learn about how that will be tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. You will learn about how we sort of do at least some quality checks and validation of the data, and because that can be done even on crowdsourced and citizen science data. So that's what will happen next week, or sorry, next days. And I think I have posted in the chat some links to where you can stay updated on what we are doing here on Hepatica Week. You will be getting access to the recordings of these presentations, the mini classes. You will get access also to the recordings of the broadcast from the Periscope, and also other pieces of information that we think you might be interested in by following this series. So thank you so much. Thank you, Bjørn, and thank you, Honorata, for your great presentations. And you know what to do. You can just contact them for more information, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.